Hi there, Alexei. My name is Ellen, and I will be correcting this essay for you today. I'm really happy to see that you submitted an essay for correction with us. Let's see what we can discover from your writing in this essay so that we can help you progress in your IELTS preparation, okay? So, the essay is about former prisoners and if they're the best people to speak to young people about crime. Let's see what you wrote. Many individuals support the idea that in order to teach adolescents about the real consequences of performing a felony, the best approach is for them to speak with an ex-convict that has been rehabilitated and integrated into society. In my personal opinion, I agree that hearing the life experiences of people that went to a correctional facility here is beneficial for young people to raise their awareness on the implications of their actions. Lovely. The language is so nice here. It's really good. Very accurate, very precise. That's actually the word I want to use. It's precise language. The vocabulary, the expressions, it's all a nice high level. You've expressed your opinion. There is one thing here I didn't see in your email what score it is you need, but you said that you agree that it is beneficial. Remember what the question asks you, though. It says if they are the best people. So the question is not if this is a good idea or not, but if in fact these ex-convicts are the best people for this particular purpose. And in my view, understanding this difference and really exploring it and developing it in your essay, this is one of the things actually that creates kind of the difference between a good essay and a really, really good essay. So if you're aiming for one of those very high band scores, meaning like 7, 7.5, 8, and so forth, then you want to explore this precision here in that task and talking about whether they are the best people. So while I loved everything, this doesn't quite hit it as precisely as it should, that they are beneficial. The question is if they are the best, okay? So there's this idea of comparison here, okay? So let's talk about it further. Let's see how you developed your paragraphs, and maybe we'll see how to take it from there. So, in the first place, listen to someone's real story of how they ended in prison. I don't like in the first place. It's a little awkward as a linker for your first paragraph. So I would get rid of that. There are other linkers that you could use that I think would be more appropriate. So let's just keep that in mind. So, listening to someone's real story of how they ended up in prison, how life inside it really is, not the life, and the impacts it had on their lives is extremely impactful on an emotional, psychological level. This becomes important because in order to influence someone's behavior, it needs to connect what is it. Careful here with your pronouns. It's not clear what it refers to. In order to influence someone's behavior, it needs to connect with the individual in an emotional way. For example, a young person will most likely dismiss in their mind a lecture about the harms and consequences of committing a crime, whereas an emotional impact produced by hearing the life experience of a former felon and all the hardships they had to endure, without that comma here, get rid of it, will increase the probability that teenagers will reconsider their actions. Okay, so again, you're talking to us about why it's a good idea. What's missing is this idea that this makes them the best people. Likewise, this approach can also send a powerful message to the youth. Careful, no comma here again. This approach can also send a powerful message to the youth that it is possible to make changes for good in their lives, no matter their current circumstances. Without any doubt, seeing the example that overcoming difficult situations is achievable, no comma here, gives hope to adolescents and helps them think of a better future. All right, this is nice, but this isn't a full paragraph. If you look at it, it's just 2 sentences, and that's not enough for a full paragraph. I kind of feel like this essentially just really wraps up what you said in the previous paragraph, so I would not have made this its own paragraph. On its own, it doesn't really carry any new information, okay? It's, you've got this idea here, and then, there's some support, there's some explanation, but that alone doesn't make it a paragraph. It's missing some key elements, okay? So, as a final thought, I believe that even though this brings many benefits, it is still important to evaluate who is talking to this group of young people, check their background, and if they are telling the truth or not. Okay, again, not a paragraph. This is one sentence, and all of a sudden you're presenting something totally, totally different than what we've been seeing so far. Okay. Also, there was nothing in your introduction to tell us that you were going to have this caveat, okay, or this kind of alternate idea about maybe how this is not such a great idea. All right. So we'll talk about how to deal with this in your introduction. Let's look at your conclusion though first. In conclusion, when handled with proper care, this kind of approach is very positive to incentivize the youth to consider their life decisions carefully, make sure your syntax is right, and raise awareness on the realities of being a criminal. Okay, that's fine. So let's talk about how you organize this essay. You had this very detailed paragraph here, okay? And, it was good, except for some issues that we already talked about. This, I felt, was not a full paragraph on its own. It was really short. Just look at the paragraphing. You can see that the paragraphs are not balanced. You've got this really long paragraph, you've got this little mini paragraph with 2 sentences, and then this, which was essentially one sentence and introduced a totally different aspect than what we had seen so far. All right, so you've got some problems with your structure. All of this would really affect your coherence and cohesion score because there is a central idea, but the progression of your ideas and the way you kind of highlight them and signpost them needs some work. So for me, it's a little bit of structure. It is also a little bit task achievement too, because you're not talking about all sides of the argument equally. You talked about this really to a pretty good extent, but then you've got these 2 paragraphs that were really just underdeveloped. They certainly weren't balanced in any way. So your writing is great, grammar, vocabulary, all that is really, really well controlled, nice work. But I think that you need some support in terms of how to organize your paragraphs, structure them appropriately, and develop them appropriately. And now this is actually, as strange as it might sound, this is a good thing because your grammar and your vocabulary are really quite good. They're at a nice level. What you need to do is work on some of the test skills, and those are easier to kind of obtain and work on sometimes than those grammar skills and language skills. So that actually puts you in a really positive position. So there are a couple of different options for you, Alexei. One of them is to sign up for the online course, which really deals with all of this in great detail. You'll find that it's just very comprehensive and will tell you everything you need to know about scoring well in IELTS. Another option for you to consider is the essay correction packages, where with some guidance you write us essays and we help you with them and we correct them. So I think any of those would work for you. I do want to see you getting some some support from an experienced IELTS tutor. So definitely look at those options. I think you'll find them really, really helpful. And I hope we get to work together in the future very, very soon. Good luck to you.